this evening's meeting of Woodbury County Board of Adjustment. Today's date is April 2, 2018, and the time is 6 p.m. Tonight's meeting will be audio taped and minutes will be prepared. In respect to all parties, we ask those present to turn off the cell phones or set to vibrate. Those in attendance are asked to legibly complete the attendance sheet upon the front table. We'd like to take a moment to review the procedures the board will follow tonight. First, the board will handle the normal housekeeping agenda items. Then for each application on the agenda, I will open the public hearing on them. Planning and zoning staff will then present the staff report, including the staff recommendation. Any letters or other communication received from the public prior to the hearing will be entered into the record. The applicant will then have the opportunity to present his or her case and respond to the staff report. Next, we will hear comments from the public. If you would like to speak either in support of or against the application, you must come to the microphone. Please state your name and address for the record. All interested parties shall be heard, but repetitious comments should be avoided if at all possible. Repetitious or irrelevant comments may be ruled out of order by the chair. I ask that you remain respectful and courteous with your comments at all times. After all public comments have been heard, the staff and applicant may make a closing statement. The hearing shall then be closed by motion and vote. Therefore, no further comments from the staff, public, or applicant may be heard unless asked for by the board. The board shall then deliberate the case and may ask questions of the applicant, the staff, or any party offering testimony. However, such questions do not reopen the hearing for additional comments from the public unless so requested or approved by the board. The board will then formulate and vote on a motion. The motion will typically either grant or deny the requested application. Any board member who has an ex parte communication to place in the record of this meeting should do so prior to the beginning of deliberation of the respective agenda. Any person desiring to appeal the board's decision to a court of record may do so within 30 days after the filing of this decision to the planning and zoning office. Remember that quite that long years past. What we have in front of us, an agenda, and there are no citizens wishing to be heard regarding any non-agenda item, so we'll skip item 1. Item 2, approval of minutes from the February 5, 2018 meeting. Any of the members, pardon?
I looked through them, I didn't see anything, so I make a motion to approve as presented.
Anybody else have any comments about the
No, I'll second the motion, though.
motion to approve and second? The minutes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I got a little confused here. I got some notes written on one of these sheets, but it's not anything to do with minutes. Item 3, fireworks sales. Proposed amendment in the text in the land use summary table of allowed use of section 3.03-4 of Woodbury County zoning ordinance.
So really it's a follow-up from our discussion last month with regards to finding an appropriate zoning district to allow the use of, for the sale of fireworks to occur. We told the Board of Supervisors or asked for their request, or they requested the Planning and or the Zoning Commission and the Board of Adjustments recommendation on what zoning districts we should consider allowing the sale of fireworks to happen. We held 2 public meetings, one in Mobile and one in Salix. We sent out notice asking for agency comment, department comment, and community input. We've incorporated all of the written comments that we've received in your packet, along with minutes of the public meetings that we held. And overall, the consensus has been overwhelmingly to support allowing the outright sale of fireworks to occur in general commercial zoning districts. And Dan and I met with the Sioux City Planning Department, and we looked up on GIS the number of general commercial parcels that are in unincorporated Woodbury County. And Dan, was it around 62? Around 60 parcels that are zoned general commercial. And then I think there were roughly about another dozen or so that are zoned light industrial. And it's pretty simple what we're proposing to the supervisors after the zoning commission voted unanimously to approve the recommendation to update our land use summary table in our ordinance to put the okay text on that table under general commercial zoning district. And I will note that under the current land use summary table, wholesaling, all wholesale businesses is an approved use in the limited industrial zoning district. So if someone wanted to get into wholesale fireworks, they could already do that under limited industrial. So we would technically sort of have two places that the sale of fireworks could occur. Retail sales would happen in general commercial and wholesale in limited industrial.
Has the county ever been approached about wholesaling?
No, we haven't. The one gentleman that's building one on Highway 20 said he's thought about it, but as of right now, he's just interested in doing the retail sales.
He wouldn't be able to wholesale on that location.
No.
You said he's building something?
Yeah, he's building a permanent structure.
Stakes are there and they've moved some dirt and
Okay.
I guess the stakes were there first and then the bulldozer was there, the scraper, to level it.
He's had a pretty consistent interest in selling them.
He sold them last year in a tent, so.
We had some people show up down in Salix that were interested, or considering it. Actually, one gentleman said that he had submitted an application from the state to get his license to sell them. Hadn't received a response yet. But what we heard from the state fire marshal's office is that they could be up until the day before the 4th of July, or up until the day before of when the state allows them, before they might get their approval.
He's pretty tempted by your inventory, wouldn't
Yeah.
It didn't sound very logical, but they said that's kind of where they're at.
Late application, maybe, but I would think that they'd be more conducive to a business environment by giving you a little bit of time there. And he lived inside the city limits as well.
Oh, okay. So we've held a public hearing with the zoning commission. We've scheduled a public hearing for tomorrow, and just wanted to run this past you folks and see if you had any questions or comments or any suggestions.
The building that's going up now, is that located by that subdivision where,
Grundy?
is it near the first entrance, the west entrance going into that?
Yes,
Or is it is?
yes.
That entrance has some site distance issues associated with it, and that was approved, I think, with minimums as far as site distance goes. It could be, turn out to be problematic. There's no permits or anything required by the DOT, I don't think, although if there's a business that's going to have high-volume traffic, like Menards or a large commercial thing, they would be required, and the state would not pay for that, I don't believe. They would be required to provide auxiliary rings or build auxiliary rings to handle traffic, to pull them off the two main line lanes. I don't know if there's going to be any problem there or not, but Sheriff's Department, that's in the county, so the county sheriff's department might want to keep an eye on it when they're operating. And you got a crossover there too, I think.
Yeah. DOT's fully aware. Dan's actually been in communication with them regarding the site plan and
Talk to Kelly Merchant or Kelly.
Mulvihill.
And,
Yeah, we originally ran it through Deacon, and he kind of ran it through the chain of command. They had some, they examined the right of way and everything. and-
Right.
And they just, said they were okay with it.
Okay.
The biggest lesson learned that Sioux City shared with us over the issues last year was related to signage. People sort of breaking the rules on where they're placing signs to sell the fireworks, and
The obligation is to enforce that.
our departments.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
You should see that every time that there's an election or anything like that too. You know.
Yeah.
Goes with that, you have like a sign supplement handed out to give them when they're going through
Yeah.
that process.
So all zoning district requirements still apply, all sign ordinance requirements still apply, and so we'll still be on site inspecting properties, doing business as usual.
If this goes in as the example in Figure 1 proposes, does that mean that no CUPs are even allowed in the other zoning? Is that how this is set up?
Where do you read that?
Well, I'm just looking, on page 9, it's just, you know, the new allowed use in each zoning district, there's, you know, the 2 dots means prohibited use. So I guess my question is, does that mean not even a conditional use permit can be requested in any of those?
I'd say
That's,
that
yeah,
it'd
that's
be the-
my
Right.
interpretation, but
I've seen it, it seems that conditional use permits have been entertained for other uses in other zoning districts where it doesn't say that it's okay, or CUP in it, and they're still able to apply, so. I mean, it'd be staff's recommendation to anybody that would request that up front that we wouldn't support it. But I suppose everybody's eligible for their day in court, so to speak.
I don't know what basis we would have to ever approve it, though.
Right.
What, yeah, I was kind of wondering, could there be language put in there that conditional use permit in other locations would not be?
Better just to
We
stay away
talked
from
about that
it.
earlier. You said that polling other entities that staying away from conditional use permits was recommended.
Yeah,
So if
Otherwise-
if they wanted to sell it someplace other than the
General.
general commercial,
Yeah.
they'd almost have to apply for rezoning and to rezone that particular area.
yeah, and you know, and it was actually down, I think in Salix, when that one gentleman said, you know, why would they be allowed to sell anywhere other than a commercial zoning district if they're not paying commercial taxes in those other zoning districts?
If they're not what?
Paying commercial taxes.
They're a retail business, so that's generating commerce.
But county engineers strongly against allowing it in any agricultural zoning district, as well as residential zoning district or nearby. City of Sioux City strongly suggested that we do not allow it nearby any residential. They especially don't want it within any
Saw that.
residential areas within their 2-mile limit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Is the location where he's building that?
Isn't that, have houses that are within 2 miles?
That's in a commercial zoning district, though.
But it is also within 2 miles of housing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Right.
There's a rural subdivision right there too.
Right.
That would, it allowed for, it was flagged to allow commercial on the
It is, yep.
front part of that, the rest of it is residential. Make a place for the.
Yeah, and according to the Granby Hills, final plat that was placed, they have the lots all numbered as they would in a subdivision. And they've got a section in there which they originally called the Highway Service Commercial District, which would involve the ones in the highways, lots 1, 2, and 3, and then they have the enumerated or setbacks and specifications for that.
So that's what they're gonna build it up?
Yeah. Well, based on that,
Wait a minute, there's a flat here.
yeah.
And subdivision ordinances related to setbacks have to be, and other zoning criteria have to meet our count, at least a minimum of our county general, or our zoning district requirements. So in general commercial, it has to be at least a 50-foot setback. And so in that subdivision, I believe they have 50-foot setback for those commercial lots. They could be, you know, greater than that, but at a very minimum, they have to meet the county's requirements for that zoning district.
So they have room for parking and everything in there.
Yep.
Well, I know when you go to North Sioux City when they're selling fireworks, holy cow, cars are parked just everywhere. Heads are all over the place.
Bring some of that money home.
Huh?
Bring some of that money home now.
Yeah.
So other than that, we did put in your packet also some information. So there's going to be two things that we're going to be working on with the county supervisors. Tomorrow, we'll have that first public hearing, and, you know, depending on the board's will, we'll execute the first reading to amend that text and put the okay in that table. That's got to go through 3 readings, 3 public readings before it's formally adopted. But what we also intend to propose to the Board of Supervisors is they adopt a standalone ordinance on the use, sale, and display of fireworks just for unincorporated Woodbury County. It would be a separate standalone ordinance, not in the subdivision or the zoning ordinance. And essentially what it does is it spells out that you can use fireworks anytime that the state allows during that window time frame, that you can sell them in retail, in general commercial, wholesale, and limited industrial, and that if you want to apply for a display to set off fireworks, that you fill out an application and the board passes a resolution to approve it.
The
So-
board does, okay.
Yep, so previously what the board has been doing is someone would just submit a letter saying, County Board of Supervisors, we want to do a display of fireworks at the county fair or at this 4-H event or whatever. We did some research and put the information that we would like to collect, that we think is important in terms of a site plan, insurance, if the person setting off the fireworks has the credentials to legally do so, because in Iowa, they require that. And so we just basically formalized that for the board.
So are we, is planning and zoning or the Board of Adjustment going to have a chance to look at the proposed ordinance?
It's in there.
Back.
Language.
Now, tonight we act on this and make a motion.
We don't, do we act on it, or is it just for our information? We don't really have,
So technically, as it relates to the ordinance and the process to amend the text, that's a zoning commission recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. But we wanted to give you that information for your input. And the zoning commission requested that you guys take a look at it. As far as this other deal that I'm talking about, this other standalone ordinance, that's really just the Board of Supervisors action. But we wanted to we already presented it to the zoning commission and we're presenting it to you as well. And it's gone through the county attorney's office for review. And I guess what we're proposing is something a little different in terms of the application and formalizing that. And we're offering our department to be the body that receives the application and sort of, reviews it, and then gives it to the board with a recommendation.
Is the application only for the display?
Yes,
Okay.
yep. Through the county.
So are you saying it would just go to the zoning commission, the zoning board?
No, this application for
Goes to-
a display fireworks deal will come to our office, and then we give them to the Board of Supervisors. We'll place them on the agenda for the applicant.
But for getting a permit to sell, much like this entity on Highway 20 he's gonna do, comes through your office and through the planning.
No, we have no local permit for selling fireworks.
It's a state fire marshal, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's all
Yeah.
All you're gonna do is approve or disallow the structure to do it then.
Yep, just the building permit itself, yep.
That's where I was leaning towards thinking that it would.
Sorry, I never got to that ordinance, proposed ordinance, when I was reviewing it, I had other things going on, so I didn't even see it back there, I thought it was part of the minutes. Does it make statements about not, no use of fireworks in parks? Okay.
I see that redacted to liability minimums, is that for a reason or is that?
It was suggested during the zoning commission that be increased, and so we're doing some research and gonna ask the county attorney what their recommendation would be on that.
So that's not gonna be removed, it just got yet to be determined? Okay.
We did what the state minimum requirement was, which was 300,000, and, yeah.
So this is a draft, or is it?
Yeah.
On Highway 20 there, I was just happy to think that, I don't know the people or anything like that, but pumpkin pads out there, if they would want to put a fireworks stand there, what would they, would that be zoned commercial?
Where the new one's being built,
No, the Scarecrow Farm is what he's talking about.
I think that's a general commercial zoning district, so I believe he would be.
Who all was on the board when
I was,
you were?
yeah.
You must have
Well,
been too then.
He amended it. He wanted to when I came on, he was enlarging the parking lot.
He already had an operation
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I can't remember what they were at.
We approved.
They were expanding the parking lot and going further east, I think, of some of their,
A
yeah.
lot of the trivial concerns about
Yeah.
the lights. They
Yep.
wanted to grow
Yep.
the light, grow the
That
trees
was
there.
the expanded
Were you
parking
guys here
lot.
when we had the huge audience?
No,
Were you here?
Was that
Buck?
for that one?
Oh,
No.
There must have been more than one then, because
I think-
one time we had a huge audience opposing the whole operation.
no.
What is that again?
The pumpkin patch?
What they used to call Turkey Hill? I don't know.
Is that where you always heard me from?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know, I'm not familiar with it.
If you're heading towards Lawton,
On the north side,
the north side road.
4 miles east of,
It's just
city
a-
limits.
bottom of that big hill.
Is there where that pumpkin farm is?
That's what we're talking about, the pumpkin farm.
And what was the opposition for that? When-
The people were concerned about the traffic, the lights, the noise, all just general disturbances. Originally it was just, we want to do this, and our board specified hours, so it wouldn't disturb the neighborhood, and we had various restrictions to try to calm the,
But I think it's been a pretty friendly operation, hasn't it?
I think so, I don't,
Well,
Yeah.
it's kind
I've
of,
never heard anything since, but.
when I generally see people there, it's in, October, for Halloween and stuff like that. But there are some subdivisions, rural subdivisions to the north of
It's
there.
across the
And
street,
also
too.
there's-
Right, to the west.
That was
Yeah.
But
the neighbors that were here.
Yeah,
those people would, I don't know if they would, you said they were.
I mean, I guess-
Well, they were concerned when they were, I remember that now.
We had-
They're really-
We had a lot of
they're built up.
specifications
They
of
were
what,
talking about
had to build had to plant trees so that the headlights wouldn't shine in across the street.
Oh, wow.
It was, got pretty specific, even on the second time he was there. Peter.
But that's just for some of the things they do now, not for fireworks display
No.
Well,
They do fireworks.
see, I guess that's the question, like, we gave them specifications of hours of business.
They're in a general
So I
commercial
don't
zoning
think
district.
that
and
would
they get approved through
change
the state.
for any other
Remember what that-
allowed sales.
Does he own that land to the, you can cross the road to the west?
No.
There's a steel building there.
No, it's H&H Fabrication, the Harshfields.
I don't know what they do.
It's a welding shop.
That's basically what it is.
So do we need to make a motion to accept any of this, or is this just purely presentation?
It's really for presentation, or if you just want to make a motion to receive the information, I suppose that would work.
Critique the draft.
If necessary, I'd say I'll make a motion that we review and find no obvious corrections. I have no corrections that I would make, but
The rest of you that had a chance to read it, how do you feel the same way?
If you could, I guess what I'd like to do is probably get this on the Board of Supervisors agenda for next Tuesday and start that process for them.
not tomorrow, the following.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But basically what it's doing, it's just codifying the decision that we're making with the land use summary table, and then we're just tightening up the procedure for them to approve the display fireworks. Because what we're essentially doing on the use of fireworks is deferring to the state code.
Okay, I'll second the motion. That we have reviewed it. And see no errors.
It's some of our best work yet.
Well, there's a lot of little details that you got to,
Now, this is
like I
gonna
say,
run,
having an attorney review it, smart.
the idea is that the public will come to the supervisor's meeting, so we advertise that that's gonna be talked about.
Yeah, we'll publish the notice in the journal in the legal section, and then, we've got to do that 3 times, so the public will have, potentially 4 times to talk about it, so.
They have enough. You have to do that before this coming supervisor's meeting?
Yeah, so we have to publish a legal notice, no less than 4 days, no more than 20 days in advance of the date that it'll be discussed.
Okay, we publish in the journal, and there's other papers, or is it just the journal?
Typically, on the legal notices, we'll do just the journal.
And you folks live out in the county, or you agree, I'm just thinking when we put together the planning and zoning regulations, things of that nature, we had meetings all over the county, and there was a lot of pro and con about the zoning, and we went over that stuff in a lot of detail, and they lasted for hours. Is this gonna set off any triggers if it just goes to?
They've already been to Salix and Lawton, so,
Yeah.
And
but-
that was publicized
Most people
well.
won't complain until it's too late, and then they'll start making all kinds of
We-
noise.
We did publish advertisements in the Record and the Advocate, and we also published legal notice in the Journal on the public meetings.
But the cities know, give them an opportunity.
Yep. And we sent notice to all the city clerks.
Will the draft ordinance go out to them too? They can post it?
Yeah, we could do that. We've
They
already sent it to them.
Okay. So they have it, you can say in there that it's available in all incorporated communities.
or Mobile.
I know people, once an ordinance is out there and, people don't feel they have an opportunity to read or have any input, they could get angry.
Sure.
Well, they can complain about all they want, but they can't say that you snuck it through.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I think
Give them
with
opportunities
with
next.
that situation, it was a lot more volatile than what this is, my personal opinion. Because we've had these meetings and basically, practically no one shows up other than the city clerks and so forth.
Yeah, but I don't really view this as really any potential to be contentious, because like I said, it's basically just codifying what the state
Yeah.
says.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just kind of playing catch up.
And actually, you're just putting minimal structure on top of it, and so,
Yeah.
I'd say, job well done.
yeah.
Well, thanks.
You get your first
Well,
complaints.
do we need a motion, or do we need?
There's one on the table and it's been
I know
approved,
that,
yeah.
But do we need to act on it? I mean, it's basically going to the supervisors for approval.
So the board's ordinance on fireworks for use, sales, and display will be on the agenda next Tuesday for them to discuss and have a public hearing, and if they approve it, do the first reading.
Okay. So the motion would be
That we have reviewed and see no
to, and
corrections.
okay, draft.
Yeah.
It's just that we have reviewed it, and we
Whatever
find,
Don puts down, we're,
Okay. So we have a second?
I seconded it already.
Okay. I'll try to listen closer. So we have a motion to approve the draft ordinance for use of fireworks and sales.
Not approving the draft, we're just saying that we
We've reviewed it.
reviewed it.
On the reviewed
Yeah.
draft ordinance. And we have no comments. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. I hope there's no backlash. I don't know.
Me too.
It seems every time, well, every time an ordinance comes out there, or something like that, that's gonna impact what people wanna use, or do things and stuff like that, you know, then holy cow. You know, I didn't think we were
The
making
process
that many
ain't
changes in the planning and zoning ordinance. And it was not fun. Okay. We don't have anything else to consider under staff update, anything there? No? Entertain a motion to adjourn. Unless, board members have other comments or whatever.
no, but more or less reconfirm that you guys, looks like you put a lot of work and effort into it. I'm sure it won't be appreciated, but I acknowledge it. I think you did a good job, so thank you.
Thanks.
Other than that, make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.